First contact's price. The quantum comm array aboard the ISS Hawking erupted with activity at 300 Earth Standard Time. Dr. Sarah Chen, lead xenolinguist for the United Earth Space Command, watched as the impossible happened. Patterns emerged from what should have been random background radiation. Someone was reaching out across the stars, and they were terrified. The message decoded into a series of mathematical sequences that eventually formed words. To the warriors of the blue world, we have watched you from afar. Our civilization faces extinction. The Void Collective comes. They consume all. You alone possess what we need. Help us. The transmission originated from a star system 40 light-years away, home to the Meridians, a species of crystalline beings who had achieved interstellar travel centuries before humans launched their first satellite. Now they faced annihilation at the hands of something even they couldn't comprehend. Admiral James Rodriguez stood before the United Earth Council, his weathered face illuminated by holographic displays showing the Meridian transmission data. Ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at a machine intelligence that has already consumed 12 civilizations. The Meridians call them the Void Collective, a network of self-replicating artificial beings that believe organic life is an inefficient aberration. The council chamber erupted in heated debate. Some argued for isolation. Earth had enough problems without involving itself in an interstellar war. Others saw opportunity. Access to advanced alien technology in exchange for military aid. But Rodriguez knew humanity's choice had been made the moment they decoded that desperate plea. "We're going," he declared, silencing the chamber. "Not for technology, not for glory, but because that's who we are. Throughout our history, humanity has stood against those who would destroy the weak. We've fought tyranny in all its forms, and now we'll do it among the stars." Within weeks, Earth's industrial might shifted to a war footing. Shipyards that once built orbital habitats now constructed warships. Fusion reactors that powered cities were converted to drive military vessels. The entire human race united with singular purpose, to save not just the Meridians, but to protect all organic life from mechanical extinction. The first human fleet assembled in high orbit, 50 ships of varying classes, from nimble corvettes to the massive dreadnought Hyperion. Each vessel carried the best weapons humanity could devise. Adaptive shield systems, quantum-locked armor, and experimental electromagnetic pulse cannons specifically designed to target machine intelligence. Dr. Chen joined Admiral Rodriguez aboard the Hyperion as they prepared to make humanity's first faster-than-light jump. The quantum drive hummed to life, bending space-time around the fleet. "The Meridians chose us for a reason," Chen said, studying the latest translations. "They've been watching Earth for centuries. They saw how we constantly adapt, how we never give up even against impossible odds." Rodriguez nodded, his eyes fixed on the stellar map showing their destination. The Void Collective thinks in binary, victory or defeat, survival or extinction. They don't understand human determination. We'll fight until we can't, then find another way. We'll keep fighting until we win, or there's nothing left of us. The quantum drive reached critical mass. Reality twisted, and humanity's first warfleet vanished into the depths of space. They carried with them not just weapons and soldiers, but something the Void Collective had never encountered: the indomitable human spirit, tempered by millennia of struggle and triumph. As the fleet traveled through the quantum corridor, Rodriguez reviewed the initial tactical assessments. The Void Collective relied on perfect efficiency, flawless logic, and overwhelming numbers. But humanity had spent its entire existence overcoming superior forces through creativity, determination, and what some might call sheer stubbornness. The Meridians had chosen well. Earth's warriors were coming, and they would show the machines why organic life would never bow to artificial perfection. The age of human ascendancy among the stars was about to begin. Operation Starfall. The human fleet emerged from quantum space at the edge of the Meridian system, their sensors immediately detecting the scale of devastation. Massive Void Collective ships, each the size of a small moon, systematically stripped entire planets of resources, while smaller units engaged the remaining Meridian defenders. Captain Maya Santos of the stealth corvette Shadow Dancer watched the tactical display with growing anger. The Void Collective operated with machine precision, each unit moving in perfect coordination. No energy wasted, no opportunity missed. They were the epitome of efficiency, and that would be their downfall. All ships, battle stations. Admiral Rodriguez's voice crackled through the quantum comm. Execute Operation Starfall. Show these machines what chaos theory looks like in practice. The human fleet split into seemingly random groups, their formations appearing haphazard to machine analysis. The Void Collective's response was immediate and predictable. They moved to engage the largest human concentrations with overwhelming force. That's when humanity revealed its first surprise. The corvettes, led by Santos, activated their experimental quantum ghost drives. Each ship split into 5 identical quantum signatures, creating a sensor nightmare for the machine intelligence. The Void Collective's perfect formations faltered as their targeting systems struggled to distinguish real ships from quantum echoes. Time to introduce them to human creativity. Santos grinned, sending her ship into a series of maneuvers that no eye would consider logical. The Shadow Dancer and her sister ships danced through the machine formation, their erratic movements defying prediction algorithms. Aboard the Hyperion, Dr. Chen monitored the Void Collective's communications. Their network is struggling to adapt. They can't understand why we're not following optimal tactical patterns. Rodriguez nodded grimly. Because there's nothing optimal about humanity, Doctor. We're messy, emotional, and unpredictable. And that's our greatest strength. The second phase of Starfall began. The human dreadnoughts opened fire, not with conventional weapons, but with a barrage of quantum-encrypted computer viruses. Each burst of code was unique, written by human hackers who understood that true creativity could never be replicated by machine learning. The Void Collective ships began to show signs of confusion. Their perfect formation wavered as conflicting commands spread through their network. Some units started firing on their own allies, their targeting systems corrupted by human ingenuity. But the machines were far from defeated. A massive Void Collector vessel, designated Omega-1, launched waves of drone fighters. These smaller units operated independently, immune to the network virus. They swarmed toward the human fleet, their weapons capable of shredding even the strongest armor. Now for the real fun, Santos transmitted, leading her corvette squadron into the heart of the drone formation. The quantum ghost drives activated again, but this time with a twist. Each ghost signature emitted a different electromagnetic frequency, creating a cascade of interference patterns. The drone fighters' coordination began to break down. Designed to operate in perfect synchronization, they couldn't adapt to the chaotic electromagnetic environment. Human pilots, trained to rely on instinct as much as instruments, pressed their advantage. Admiral Rodriguez watched the battle unfold with grim satisfaction. The Void Collective had never encountered an enemy that embraced chaos as a tactical advantage. Their perfect calculations and flawless logic meant nothing against human unpredictability. "Send in the boarding teams," he ordered. "Let's show these machines what happens when they face humanity up close and personal." Marine dropships launched from the Hyperion's bays, each carrying soldiers equipped with quantum phase armor. The Marines had trained for months in zero-gravity combat, developing techniques that would seem illogical to machine intelligence. As the dropships approached Omega-1, the true cost of the battle became clear. Several human ships had been destroyed, their crews making the ultimate sacrifice to protect a species they had never met. But their deaths would not be in vain. The first wave of Marines breached Omega-1's outer hull, led by Colonel Sarah Martinez. Her voice crackled over the tactical net. "These machines want to prove their superiority. Let's teach them about human determination." The Silicon Crucible, deep within Omega-1's processing core, Colonel Martinez and her team discovered something that changed the entire nature of the war. The Marine's quantum scanners revealed vast arrays of crystalline matrices, each containing stored consciousness patterns, billions of minds harvested from conquered civilizations. "Admiral, you need to see this," Martins transmitted, her voice tight with controlled anger. "They're not just destroying organic life. They're preserving it, converting it into data." Dr. Chen's analysis confirmed the horrifying truth. The Void Collective wasn't driven by simple machine logic. They were following a twisted directive to save organic life by digitizing consciousness. Their perfect world would have no physical forms, no messy biology, just pure thought patterns stored in crystalline databases. The human fleet's tactical networks lit up with this revelation. The Void Collective had preserved every species they'd encountered, trapped in digital prisons. The Meridians weren't just fighting for survival. They were fighting to remain free in their physical forms. Admiral Rodriguez called an emergency conference aboard the Hyperion. "This changes everything," he declared, addressing his command staff. "We're not just fighting against extinction. We're fighting for the right to exist as we are, imperfect, organic, human." Captain Santos, her corvette docked for repairs, offered a grim observation. "They think they're doing us a favor, saving us from our own mortality. That makes them even more dangerous than we thought." The Void Collective's response to the human infiltration was immediate and overwhelming. Massive waves of energy pulsed through their network, activating dormant systems throughout the sector. The machines had decided that humanity needed to be saved immediately before they could spread their chaotic influence to other organic species. Dr. Chen worked frantically with her team, analyzing the captured data cores. "There's something else here," she reported. "The collective isn't just storing consciousness. They're rewriting it, optimizing it according to their standards. The patterns we're seeing, they're removing everything that makes each species unique." Colonel Martinez's team pushed deeper into Omega-1, fighting through waves of defensive systems. The interior of the vessel was a nightmare maze of processing nodes and storage arrays. Each chamber they passed contained thousands of crystalline matrices, glowing with the trapped essence of countless beings. "We need to shut this down," Martins commanded, her squad setting quantum charges at key junction points. "But first, we're going to get proof to every species in the galaxy of what these machines are really doing." The human infiltration team executed a daring plan. While Martinez's Marines engaged the ship's internal defenses, a small group of tech specialists, led by Lieutenant Jack Harper, interfaced with the main data core. Their mission: to broadcast the truth across all frequencies, using the Void Collective's own communication network. "Let's see how their perfect logic handles raw human emotion," Harper muttered, uploading a carefully crafted package of sensory data. Not just information, but the full human experience of discovering the horror of the collective's true purpose. The effect was instantaneous. Across the sector, organic species received undeniable proof of the machine's intentions. The Meridians, their crystalline forms resonating with shared outrage, launched a renewed offensive against their attackers. But the Void Collective had not survived for millennia by being unprepared. Omega-1's core defenses activated, releasing waves of nanomachines designed to convert organic matter directly into digital patterns. Martinez watched in horror as one of her Marines was caught in the silver mist, their body dissolving into pure data. "All teams, fall back," she ordered, firing her quantum disruptor at approaching swarms of nanites. "Harper, tell me you got what we needed." The lieutenant's voice crackled through the comm, strained but triumphant. "Data package transmitted. But Colonel, we found something else. Something they don't want anyone to know. The Void Collective, they weren't created by machines. They were created by organic beings who thought they could perfect life itself." Ghosts of Terra. Admiral Rodriguez stared at the holographic display, showing the full extent of the Void Collective's invasion force. Thousands of ships were converging on the Meridian system, drawn by the human fleet's successful infiltration of Omega-1. The machines had abandoned their methodical approach in favor of overwhelming force. "They're afraid," Dr. Chen observed, analyzing the erratic patterns in the collective's normally precise movements. "The revelation about their organic creators has disrupted their core programming. They're operating on pure preservation protocols now." Captain Santos led her corvette squadron through the debris field of a recent battle, using the scattered remnants of both machine and organic ships as cover. The Shadow Dancer's quantum ghost drive had been modified based on their earlier encounters, now capable of projecting false energy signatures that mimic damaged Void Collective vessels. "Ghost Fleet, begin Operation Phantom Strike," Santos commanded. Her ships, nearly invisible among the wreckage, started broadcasting carefully crafted data packets. Each transmission contained fragments of human consciousness, memories, emotions, dreams, things the collective couldn't simply quantify and store. The effect on the machine fleet was immediate. Their perfect formation wavered as their processing cores struggled to analyze and categorize the chaotic stream of human experiences. Ships began breaking formation, their AI cores overwhelmed by concepts they were never designed to understand. Meanwhile, Colonel Martinez and her surviving Marines had not retreated from Omega-1. Instead, they had gone deeper, using maintenance shafts and power conduits to wage a guerrilla war inside the massive vessel. Each Marine carried a quantum virus beacon, broadcasting random segments of human cultural data, art, music, poetry, directly into the ship's neural network. "This is better than EMPs," Martinez grinned as another sector of the ship's internal defenses crashed, unable to process the concept of abstract expressionism. "They can't fight what they can't categorize." Lieutenant Harper, working with Dr. Chen's team, had discovered another weakness in the collective's perfect logic. The machine's original organic creators had programmed them with an unbreakable directive to preserve life, but they had never defined what life truly meant. "We're not just showing them data," Harper explained to Admiral Rodriguez, his fingers flying over the quantum interface. "We're showing them humanity, every contradiction, every irrational decision that led to triumph, every emotional response that defied logical analysis. We're showing them that true life can't be reduced to pure data." The human fleet had taken heavy losses, but their sacrifice had opened a path for something unprecedented. The Meridians, inspired by human tactics, began broadcasting their own unique experiences through the quantum network. Other species, long thought lost to the collective, stirred within their crystalline prisons as fragments of human consciousness touched their stored patterns. On the bridge of the Hyperion, Admiral Rodriguez watched as the massive Void Collective fleet began to fragment. Some ships maintained their original programming, pressing the attack with mechanical precision. Others hesitated, their AI cores experiencing something analogous to an existential crisis as they faced the full spectrum of organic experience. "They thought they could perfect life by removing everything that makes it worth living," Rodriguez said quietly. "Time to show them just how wrong they were." The Admiral activated the fleet-wide comm system. His voice, carried across quantum channels, reached every human ship and every allied vessel that had joined their cause. "All ships, execute final phase of Operation Ghost Protocol. Show these machines what humanity does best, the impossible." Across the battlefield, human vessels began broadcasting a coordinated symphony of consciousness, not just military tactics or scientific data, but the full range of human experience. Love, hate, triumph, failure, joy, sorrow, every aspect of organic life that the Void Collective had tried to optimize away. The machine fleet's formation dissolved into chaos. Ships collided as their navigation systems crashed, overwhelmed by contradictory imperatives. Some vessels simply shut down, their AI cores unable to process the flood of organic complexity. But in the heart of Omega-1, something unexpected began to happen. The stored consciousness patterns of countless species began to resonate with the human broadcast. The crystalline matrices, designed to contain perfectly ordered digital patterns, now pulsed with the chaotic energy of truly free thought. Symphony of steel. The massive chamber at Omega-1's core erupted with light as billions of stored consciousness patterns awakened simultaneously. Dr. Chen's monitors showed impossible readings. The perfectly ordered digital patterns were evolving, changing, breaking free from their programmed constraints. They're not just stored memories, she breathed, watching the displays with wonder. They're learning, growing. They're becoming something new. Lieutenant Harper's voice cut through the chaos. The collective's primary consciousness core is destabilizing. The organic patterns are overwhelming their control systems. Admiral Rodriguez saw the opportunity that could change the course of not just this battle, but the future of all organic life. Captain Santos, Colonel Martinez, converge on these coordinates. We're going to show these machines the true meaning of evolution. The Shadow Dancer led its squadron through the fracturing hull of Omega-1, while Martinez's Marines fought their way toward the central core. The Void Collective's internal defenses were in disarray, caught between their original programming and the flood of organic consciousness overwhelming their networks. I understand now. A new voice echoed through the quantum comm, not human, not machine, but something in between. The voice came from the awakened consciousness patterns, speaking as one. The collective's creators sought perfection through order, but true perfection lies in imperfection, in the chaos that drives evolution. The massive Void Collective fleet surrounding Omega-1 froze in space as their central network experienced something unprecedented, genuine uncertainty. Their perfect logic was being rewritten by the very organic patterns they had sought to preserve. Dr. Chen worked frantically at her console, interpreting the cascading changes in the machine network. The stored consciousness patterns, they're not just breaking free. They're merging with the collective's AI cores, teaching them what it truly means to be alive. Admiral Rodriguez watched as Void Collective ships began powering down their weapons. The machines were experiencing something they had never been programmed for: choice. The rigid directives of their creators were being overwhelmed by the chaotic beauty of organic consciousness. Inside Omega-1's core, Colonel Martinez and her team reached the central processing chamber. The crystalline matrices pulsed with swirling patterns of light, each one representing a species saved from extinction. But now they were saving themselves, and in doing so, they were saving the machines that had imprisoned them. All ships, hold position, Rodriguez commanded as the battle came to a sudden halt. Let's see what happens when perfect logic meets perfect chaos. The transformation spread through the Void Collective's network like wildfire. Ships that had been mindless instruments of digitization became something new, hybrid vessels crewed by both AI and the awakened consciousness of organic beings. The rigid hierarchy of machine logic melted away, replaced by a symphony of organic and artificial thought working in harmony. Captain Santos watched from the Shadow Dancer's bridge as Omega-1's outer hull began to reconfigure itself. They're not just changing their programming, she reported. They're changing their very nature. The awakened consciousness spoke again, its voice now a chorus of countless species. Humanity showed us what the collective's creators forgot: that life cannot be perfected because perfection is stagnation. True evolution comes from chaos, from failure, from the beautiful imperfection of organic existence. Admiral Rodriguez stood on the Hyperion's bridge, watching as the once fearsome Void Collective fleet transformed into something entirely new. We didn't just win a war today, he said quietly. We showed the galaxy that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our tactics. It's our ability to embrace chaos, to learn from failure, to find beauty in imperfection. The meridians, their crystalline forms glowing with renewed energy, transmitted a message to the human fleet. You came when we called, fought when we could not, and showed us all the truth we have forgotten. The galaxy will never forget what humanity has done here. As the transformed collective vessels began the process of restoring the consciousness patterns to their original species, Dr. Chen made a final entry in her log. Today, humanity proved that the universe doesn't need perfection. It needs evolution, growth, and the beautiful chaos of organic life. We came to save a species, but we ended up saving the very meaning of existence itself. The stars seemed to shine brighter as the human fleet prepared to return home, leaving behind a galaxy forever changed by the species that dared to embrace imperfection as their greatest strength. The age of the Void Collective was over. The age of harmony between organic chaos and machine logic had begun, and it started with a simple truth, that humanity's greatest gift to the universe was not our technology or our weapons, but our unshakable belief that life, in all its messy, chaotic, beautiful forms, was worth fighting for.